Hello, everybody. I am super excited for today's chat. I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I just keep, you know, uh, it's a lot of information. So I'm excited because this is the trip that I did for going to Shasta, and thanks to Tracy who made this possible for me to do this trip. So Tracy was so gracious to agreed to be with me on here, and so that we could tell you all the amazing things that happened on this trip, because it really was orchestrated by the universe, and we wanted to share just the things that happened there. And as we started the trip and how it got really magical and the synchronicities that were happening, and it was all put together for a reason. So amazing thing happens in Shasta. So don't hang up, don't stop watching in the middle of the video, because I'm telling you the best part is probably, in the end, where we talk about Tracy going through a portal. So it's pretty amazing. Okay, so let's get started. Our amazing trip started in Denver, and I know you gave me the map, but I don't think I have it up. Let me see here real quick. I want to check. Okay, yeah, I don't see it. So this amazing trip, actually, Tracy, you were going from Virginia all the way to California, to Mount Shasta, and I caught you in Denver, right?
Yeah. Yes. And the synchronicities were crazy, right? Because I had that trip planned. I was going to go, and I'm just like, Elisa, you should go. The universe presented itself. I'm like, you are the perfect person to go with me, because this was all about manifestation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had crystals and, frequencies planted in those, and just, areas I was going to stop. So it was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It was perfect. So when I arrived in Denver, I looked on my key on the hotel. The hotel key number was 333. And I knew when that happened that this was going to be a special trip. I knew it was going to be a special trip. So from there, we moved on. We went to Pagosa Springs, right? Did I miss anything in between Denver and Pagosa?
I think Garden of the Gods we stopped at, right? Because you had never been there. So, and you pointed out things I had never seen, like the rock beans. You just opened that up to me, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started seeing rock beans everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, the beings that actually create those and leave impressions of themselves in them, as well as their consciousness in these rocks. It's incredible. It's incredible. So we went to Pagosa Springs, and the universe, we were at a waterfall, and this amazing woman stopped by and talked to us, right?
Yes. There were the sisters, right? I think if I remember correctly. Yeah. And they just had this twinkle in their eyes, and you could tell they were just in that 5D kind of in that space, right? It was beautiful. And you were sitting, I think, meditating, and this lady just comes up. It was just magical how she just came up and started talking to us. It was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that was amazing. But then when we left that waterfall, we head back down to the town, and there's this market of like the tents, the type of tent market. And I love going to those, it's always the coolest people there. So it's pouring down, and I'm thinking, I don't know if this is a good idea, but we still did it. And we met some amazing people, and you struck up a conversation with a man named Dan. I don't have his
it's Desert. I'll look and see. I've got his card here. Dan Minar. Yeah. So basically he has a CBD tea company, but what was interesting, right, is he had this he has a lab there, right, where he's working on things, and it's all, related to healing and detox. And, you know, I never would have met him if we hadn't went there. That's the key. That's the manifestation. And that's a place where I eventually want to have a place.
Right.
That's one of the places. Yeah.
Yeah. So people don't know this, but you are not trying to manifest. You are going to manifest so much abundance that you're going to create all these healing centers. And so you're manifesting these people that are showing up in your reality to make this happen. So Dan, you know, was one of these people. And the amazing thing about Dan, and maybe you can show people his card in case people want to purchase his products, but the other way.
Sorry.
There.
Oh, okay. Can you see it? I can, later.
Go up. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Let's see. Read the website.
So the website is www.desireeta.com. It's I can send you the link. It might be easier. You could put it maybe in your YouTube.
Yeah, we can put it on the description. So so Dan was explaining how he was some type of molecular bioengineer or something.
Yes.
What was that, Tracy?
Yeah. I'm looking at, well, he calls himself an alchemist, but I was looking, and he works, hopefully I'm saying this correctly, but with some type of nano technology, and something where he's getting that, like he's got, you know, the CBD products and the tea, he's getting those down to just a really fine, however he does that, right? Resolution.
So he was talking about how we all this CBD stuff that's out there, but we don't necessarily, our body doesn't necessarily accept it because it's got to have a certain type of molecular structure. And so, I mean, this guy was at NASA? He worked at NASA or something?
Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. Yes.
So then he had combined all he knew, because his son had been in a car accident, I believe, and was having issues with his brain. So he like literally just sat down and took the time to really understand the molecular structure. And what he designed was this CBD oil that is more water-based, because we are water. So he realized that it was a better way for the body to immediately absorb the CBD. So needless to say, Tracy and I were super, super impressed. He had a CBD infused tea as well, and just an amazing man. So we'll definitely put his information down at the bottom. But that was definitely meant for Tracy and Dan to meet for sure. So that was another amazing synchronicity there.
Yeah. And then the magnets too. We met a gentleman with, I'm trying to remember the name of that. So that was pretty powerful too.
Yeah. And he was from Sedona. We believe this guy was a Pleiadian because his eyes were like this.
Oh my gosh.
Blue, like this. You can see
so
him
blue,
so far away. Yeah.
We went to Bryce Canyon from there. So that was Glendale.
Okay.
Yeah. So Glendale, Utah.
On our way there is when we saw the elephant.
Yes.
Thingies. Okay. So let me bring that up.
That was incredible.
Yeah. So tell the story while I bring up the
Yeah. So this was a place I had stopped. I think it was a couple of years ago, but again, with Lisa, I hadn't picked up on that. Right. So what she picked up on, which was incredible, was these were antennas, right? And then of course you see the beans and the rocks, you know, you can see those. And I definitely picked up a lot of energy there. Right. And then I think the biggest blessing about this was we met this beautiful Navajo woman. That was there, right? And she was all just lots of light, right? She just had a beautiful energy, incredible, right? And she was selling these beautiful little bracelets and jewelry that were there, but it was incredible. And we were talking to her, right, about the beans, which was really cool, you know, and the rocks and So next we went to Glendale, Utah. And the purpose of that was to see Bryce Canyon, right? Bryce and Zion. I think the biggest thing there was the Queen's Garden, right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, the Queen's Garden, right? Where we saw those. And again, you picked up on that. You're just like, there's a city here,
Yes.
whole
So,
entire
okay, I'm
city.
looking for that picture.
Looking for that. You had that one. Why don't you bring up the tree stump? You found that, and that was incredible. We were looking out. So this was an area we were at.
Okay, hold on. And there's
and
the tree. And as soon as I saw it, it came out of my mouth. It was like I blurted it out. It wasn't like I was thinking or trying to analyze or nothing. I just looked at it and I said, that's a tree. And it just came out of my mouth. So
Yeah.
that was pretty amazing, right there.
And again, it's something I would not have seen, right? If you hadn't brought it up to me, I would have just looked out and said, oh, that's, beautiful view. I wouldn't have picked that up. And that's all about, to me, like this higher, dimensional.
Yeah. So this whole thing right here is completely flat, right? And that's when you have to go like, okay, mountains do not grow flat. It's impossible. Right. So that's when I was like, that's a tree. Because then I looked at what was left of this mountain and I said, oh my God, that looks just like a tree trunk. So, but again, it really truly was something that just like blah, like it just came out of me. I was like freaked out because it wasn't even something that I was, that I was even thinking.
You're even thinking about. Yeah.
So here's some other pictures. Which one's this one?
So that one is Bryce, right? That's part of the Queen's Garden. But what I'm looking for is to get one of the full, that shows all of it.
Yeah.
Right? But the spires, but that one was incredible. There were beans everywhere. That's what.
Oh yeah, for sure. But what I did want to show people was the city that I found while we were looking out. And that's the picture that I'm looking for. So here we go. Far, far away, I could see something that looked like a freaking city. And I'm like, wait a minute, these are statues of like whatever, the gods or whatever were important to that. But here's almost like, I wonder if there's a way to zoom. I can't because this thing is in the way. Here we go.
Right. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So if you can you see my mouse? That moving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, I can see that.
So here's the top, right? Almost like if there was an Aztec like pyramid, at the top, how they have the little, thingies. And then here's the wall, right? This white thing. So here are the beings right here. And I'm going to go back out. And here's the wall of the city, this white stuff that goes all around it right here. And here are the buildings. But you can tell this was some type of city. So this was huge. Like, I mean, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, that was a city. There's the building.
Massive.
There's the, there's the wall, there's the beams that, you could just totally just see it. And nobody mentions anything about it. This is what's so amazing. Like, there is no mention of it. There's nothing, nobody telling you, oh, by the way, watch out for that awesome, cool city way back there. No.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it was not anything I would have picked up on my own, just going. I would have said, oh, that's beautiful. Okay, maybe the energy, but I wouldn't have picked up on that. Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. And we did it. One of the walks was at night, right? Kind of at dusk. And
you could see it a lot more. I think that's when when they took this picture. Because the next day when we went, you almost couldn't see it.
No.
Like it got lost.
It's like it got lost. And also I felt that, I think we talked about this, there was more people, right? There's hardly anybody there. And we went at night at dusk, right? There's maybe I don't know, 15 people or something. And whereas when we went the next time, there was just the crowds, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
That was
but yeah,
incredible.
it was amazing, incredible.
Incredible. And then was the bearded dragon at this time at this condo, or
Yep.
was that?
It was at this condo, and I think I sent him, but
Yeah, you did. That's why I wanted to show him, because
he was amazing.
he
Oh my
was
gosh.
here he is right
There he
here.
is. Oh.
He was so cute. He came to visit us like when we were there, and what Tracy and I got was that he was protection for us.
Yeah, protection.
Yeah. So
yeah, very protection. And he had just a beautiful energy, like almost like a calmness, right? Just very beautiful.
Yeah. He was so cute.
Because there was some stuff going on. We think, that we won't say names, but it's an interesting spot, right, to stay, we'll say the least.
Yeah.
So kind of protection.
So, okay. So stop. My cat's playing with me. Okay. So we have the Bryce. Okay. So here's another one that you took on Zion, which was the same, we did Zion the day before we did Bryce. And then, so was there something interesting here? I'm noticing that there's this glare, but there's also, you see this one that's more circular. So maybe one of those is a lens glare, but I can tell you the other isn't. So one or the other is something.
It's not.
Right.
It's not. And these are things, again, that, when I looked back on the photos, I started seeing things. And this was one of them. And I'm like, what is that? Because I took multiple photos in that location and none of them looked like that. This was the only one that looked like that, even from the same or a similar angle. And then I think that tree too, right? You pointed out the tree.
Yeah. The tree was gigantic. That picture does not do it justice. And I took several pictures of the tree, and I'm telling you, I'm not showing it because it just didn't show the magnificence of it.
It didn't do it justice. Yeah.
No, this tree was gigantic.
Beautiful. It had a lot of beautiful energy too. Lots of it.
Yeah. And let me see anything else here. Okay. The rest are monolake. So, okay. So then we go from Bryce and
to Vegas, right? Drive to Vegas.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We were on our way to Barstow, California, but we stopped in Vegas. And what was cool about it is you got to try the harmonic egg, right? Which was
Yes. That was a really amazing experience. Very cool. I definitely would suggest, and I already did a video on it. So if you guys are interested in the harmonic egg, watch the video with the inventor, Gail. I don't remember her last name, but it's, she explains it. And the ladies in Vegas were amazing. So please check them out. They're absolutely incredible. And then
the Whole Foods, we got to bring that up.
Okay. So then here comes the Whole Foods, right? So we go to Whole Foods and we see these huge lines going into the aisles. And then we see two open cashiers with no line. And I show them to Tracy and I go, what's going on? Like nobody,
it's like they didn't see them.
It's like they didn't see them. And then I looked at the people that were in line, and they
didn't see it.
Me.
Literally.
They did not see it. So that's when we realized this is how being in 5D works. It's you're seeing something that others can't see. And that's why it's so important to get out of your 3D jobs. Because the more you are in the space, the more you start to see these things, right?
Yeah.
So it was really, really obvious at that point how we were in a different place dimensionally than everybody else. And that's why reptilians can't see you when you're in that dimension.
Good point.
It's the same idea. They don't see you, just like those people couldn't see those cashiers being available.
Yeah. because
Absolutely.
you're just operating at such a high frequency that they can't see. You're vibrating
They don't
so
see
high.
it. They don't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
So that was
huge.
perfect. Yeah. And I felt like that was meant to happen for us so we could understand more of how everybody says, oh, there's a split, right? Well, now I think we understand a little more how this works. It's more of a consciousness dimensional. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like, you know, how the higher dimensionals can come and see us in this dimension. It's the same with us. We were seeing the 3D, but we were also seeing the 5D, but it was still us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who knows if they were seeing us, because it's possible that when we were like trying to point them to the cashiers, they weren't seeing us. It's very possible. I don't know. Right. We should have been like, do you see me?
I know.
But, you know, but yeah, like I wonder if they did see us at this point. So I don't know. But
yeah, it makes you wonder.
Experience.
But I think in the moment we're both looking at each other and we're like, oh my gosh, we are literally in a different dimension or frequency, right? Space.
Yeah.
So it was that was incredible. So we had to bring that up.
Yeah, big time. So then from Vegas we went to
Barstow,
and I have to mention, I mean, this is a negative, but I have to do it because
no, go for it. I think you're going to say the same thing
about going into California.
Yes.
You guys, California makes you stop and check to see if you're bringing any outside plant or food. And it's like, okay, let's see. I just stepped 1 foot from this state to this state, and all of a sudden this plant here is going to damage a plant life here.
Yeah.
Like, and then I was like, are we the United States of America? Because right now I'm not feeling it. Like, this ain't united nothing. So California, you guys are seriously messed up. I mean, and I'm not talking about the people.
We're talking about
the
people in charge.
There.
Yeah.
The people in charge. Messed up. Like, really, it like total no logic. It didn't make any sense. You know, and of course they go by what you tell them. No, I don't have anything. Okay, go, you know, like, really, what is up with this waste of time, waste of money, waste of effort?
Yeah.
Control. Again, control. So California, give it up. It's time to let that go.
Time to release it. Yeah.
So moving on. Okay. So going back to the 5D discussion, we're moving, and then we go from Barstow. We went to
Mammoth Lakes. And
something that happened in Barstow.
Yeah.
For me there was a baby cricket in my room. And I looked up what it meant, and now I can't remember what it meant. But I know it was a big deal. Like, it meant something. It was a message. So that's just to remind people, if you're seeing animals come into your insects, whatever, into your life, research. What does it mean? It's a message, right? Remember, this is a simulation. So the stuff is appearing in front of you for a reason. So I took the baby cricket and I went outside and I left him outside. But I love the message because he was so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on from Barstow.
Yeah, one thing I think, and we picked up on this driving on that 395, and we'll stay in 5D, but I think one thing to point out is, you know, we talked about a little bit about the desert, and I think I had been through some of that area before, but you were bringing this up to me. You're like, it's so desolate. And we got to thinking, right, a little bit about that, right? Like, why is that environment like that? And, you know, that would have been conducive to other, you know, that's going to change, and it is changing, but other beings, right, that, you know, like that kind of environment. And it also, you know, it also explains why there's so much stuff going on underneath the ground, and we'll leave it at that. But that clicked with me when you said that. And I said, of course, because this area is notorious for that, right? It's all the frequencies changing, it's getting cleaned up, but that makes sense with the control too, a little bit.
Yeah.
So, so the next place was Mammoth Lakes, and that's near Yosemite. Ugh, beautiful, huh? And we got a lot of inspiration there, right? For healing centers and houses we want to build, things like that. Like
it's just
beautiful.
The trees there were like gigantic pines that I tried taking a picture and it just didn't I had to use panoramic. It was that huge. Okay. And the trunk was like, I don't know, what would you say, six foot maybe in diameter, 10 foot in diameter?
At least some of those were big,
gigantic trees. And oh my God, they were so beautiful. I mean, if you guys haven't been to Mammoth Lakes, I highly suggest you make it there. It's absolutely stunning. Stunning, 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 stunning. And right next to it is June Lake. And then
that was
just
beautiful.
Yosemite was really close. And then
Mono Lake is where I saw the most ships I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And again,
so here's the pictures and you can tell the story.
And the reason that I wanted to go there initially was there's a huge gateway there. And Sandra Walter, if you follow her, she talks about this. But there's a gateway there, and I had always wanted to go, and for some reason drawn there and wanted to plant crystals. But what was amazing is we start walking and look up, and there's just all of these amazing cloud formations. I mean, look at that. That's just that's not normal.
Yep. And then here's the other one.
Yeah.
With the ships, all the different ships that were there.
It was amazing. And I felt like too, with the energy, I felt like they were, with the crystals, at least they were saying, hey, place them here. That's where I felt the most guidance, I think, even outside of Shasta for crystals. So, but yeah, it was incredible. The sky there.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
Okay. And then anything else? I know something that might not feel like it was something, but I feel like it was, especially now that stuff is happening. We kept trying to go to Yosemite, and it was like,
that's right. Yeah.
Almost like no, like we would try and it was like, no. And then we found out it was where they had the floods. And then not long ago, Tracy, there's more stuff happening there.
Yes, there is. So a little bit of story on that. So there's, we know that if you're following channels like this, there's deep underground military bases. And what people don't talk about a lot is the gatekeepers and grid workers actually help. They're helping with that, whether they realize it or not. Right. So Elisa, myself, and there's other people too, but we were actually helping with that. Even if you're not planting crystals, you're helping with your DNA in areas to clear energies. And I felt very much in that area. I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about this. I felt very much like we were doing that, especially on the hike around June Lake. And that's also, I think, why we didn't go into the park, right? There was a road closed off, right? Part of it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then afterwards, a couple of days afterwards, after we left, there was a dome blown up there. That's part of the intel that we got. So and other people, Sandra Walter, other people talk about this, but it's something that most people it's not out there a lot of people just don't. There's a few channels that have bring this up, but it's so important right now because where you place your energy and intention, you're helping with this.
Yeah. And this is I found one of my pictures that I wanted to share because I don't know if I had shown you this, Tracy, but this was in Mono Lake. I don't know if you remember this. We went inside this cave. Okay. Yeah. Do you see the ship here? Look at one, at these are the like the windows almost or something. I don't know, but here's the windows, right? And then here's the bottom, right?
Yep.
Right there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were definitely meant to be there that day for sure. Yeah. In that particular area. And I think that location was the closest to Yosemite right? I think that's the closest that we went to. Yeah. To Yosemite. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then after Mammoth Lakes was when we started heading into Shasta. And where it
Oh my
got
gosh.
really magical.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. So I, let me see, I'm trying to even begin, because there's so much happened that I get lost in like what happened in what day. But I know we got there and we started looking for the details of the conference that we were going to attend.
Yeah.
And we see this guy that had gone to Telos that was doing physical tours to, the mountain, but not, we thought it was going to be to where he was, where he had gone into Telos, but it wasn't. It was this other place that he had been told was a good place to take people to. And that was Lowell Johnson. We ended up meeting. So tell me, Tracy, when was it about the Reuben Langdon interview? Was that before or after?
That was before. So let's so I'll talk about that real quick. So Reuben Langdon has a series that's called Interview with Extra Dimensionals. So he's been doing this series, I want to say about 6 years or so, right? So I'm on his distro and everything, and I get this email from him talking about Telos. And I had emailed him previously, I think, to just tell him, hey, I'm going to Shasta. And anyway, there was an exchange there. So whether or not he knew that or remembered that, I don't know. But I get this, and all of a sudden I get, you need to go watch this. I get this, whatever, knowing or download, you need to go watch this. And then we listened to that, right? I think we listened to Lowell on our way there. And it was just like, we both got the goosebumps and we're like, oh my gosh, we need to meet this guy. So then we get there and we're looking at, and I think you were looking at it, right? We get there, I think it was the first night, and you were looking at the agenda or whatever, and you saw that, did you see it, or was that calling? We had to call Rob Potter, right?
Right.
He was,
we had
setting
to
up the
find out,
conference
because we tried buying it and it wouldn't allow us. So we're like, oh, let's just text just in case to see if they have any spots available, thinking it's the day before. There's no way they're going to have spots open, or 2 days before.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I text, and Rob Potter gets right back to me saying there's 3 spots left, and that we needed 3 spots, exactly 3 spots.
Yeah.
So we start running around because we have to pay cash. So we're like, how much money do we have? Oh my God, we got to go to the ATM.
Got to go to the ATM.
Yeah. So we make it happen. Of course, the universe made it happen. And we signed up for going up there. And did anything happen? I mean,
well, we went over to, I think what was interesting is we went over there to get this is what I remember. We went over there to get the tickets, right?
To Rob Potter's apartment.
Apartment, right? And he had a group of people, beautiful people working on this event. And one of the ladies we met, right, there was some discussion there. And again, this is all dimensional. What I'm thinking is we're all in that 5D space. And she's talking about the manifestation, right? It had to do with San Diego, right? If I remember correctly. But it just got us more in that mode of, this is what we want to create, right? Because there's all these people in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were some other synchronicities. I don't remember all of them, but there are 2 or 3 people we talked to in there. And it was just like, you're just in that space. It was incredible.
Yeah. So
right?
then, So then at night I would go outside and I would see ships every time I went outside. There was one time when I went outside and I saw a cloud that looked like ET eyes, like 2 eyes and a mouth. And then I laughed. And then I asked, I said, what are you now going to show me? A ship? And before I finished asking, I saw a huge flash in the sky next to that cloud. So, okay. And then the next day, Shanna had another friend of mine that had met us there. needed a spot to go with us because she wanted to go on this hike.
That's right.
And they told her that it was fine, that she could go with us. So they allowed her to go. So, so the next day, I don't know when this was, but I'm going to mention it now. One of the nights that I went outside, I swear to you, I think I showed you the Trump, the cloud that looked like Trump's face.
I think I remember that. Yeah. Because we kept getting all of these signs too when we were there, not just, I mean, because this is all tied in, right? Not just the 5D, but just all of these changes that are happening, right? We kept getting the 17, we got the milepost 17 before, and that kind of stuff would present itself.
Yeah. And I think there was a cloud that, depending on how you looked at it, it looked like an ET, but if you looked at it from a different way, it was like Trump's like side view.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. I remember that you showed. Yeah.
Yep. That was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So then, okay. So then the next magical thing that happened, and stop me if you do have something before that, we went on the hike with Lowell. And he takes us to this place. Oh, I think I closed it. Shoot.
So I think I sent that last one. I sent.
Here it is.
Yeah. Tried to send where where Barry was at and all that. Yeah.
Okay. So here is one of the pictures. And this is where Lowell took us to this place right before we go on the hike. And he's just talking to us about this area and Ethereum, and how Ethereum is like basically light particles, but in physical, right? Like light, but physical.
Yeah, physical, yeah.
And he told us we actually got to take some, ingest some of it. It tasted like mud. Okay, let me see if I can find, here it is. And this is a grid that he had created there, where we energized our crystals and anything we wanted to energize in there, we put in there. So then we left from there and we went up to the top of the mountain, and
that was Old Ski Bowl Trailhead. If anybody wants to know where that's at, Old Ski Bowl. It's near. It's like at the top. It's the highest that you can go and park. It's where we. Yeah.
So then we went. We were walking by, and Lowell is taking us to where we need to go, and he goes, if you guys want to venture out and meet us, if anybody wants to venture out, you can go up this way and then meet us there, go left and meet us there. Well, of course, Tracy and Sal, one of our friends, and Barry, they want to be different. So they decide we're going to go the other way. So it was, and Sal is very funny, and he's very much of like a squirrel type guy, like, oh, squirrel,
Yeah.
So they follow that squirrel, and I never saw them again. Okay. That like the hike was done. These are hours and hours later. We get down to the bottom from being with the group, and they're not there. And I think I texted Sal, right? Yeah. Or you. And then I said, and you guys go, we're at the top of the mountain. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We're at the top of the mountain. And I'm like, okay, that's not really possible.
No.
And
it was not.
We found out that they had to go through a portal in order to get to where they went. There's
no way. No. And I've looked into this, and I think the area where we were at was like a avalanche area. And I think it was called like Red. I'm looking now, Red. So there's Red Butte and Red Banks. And I think somehow we got up there, and it's literally almost 10,000 feet. That's the part that's amazing. And the whole time I was going up with Sal, I didn't feel out of breath. That's the weird part until I was coming down. And he, we're both in that. We don't hike 14ers, right? And he'll admit to that, right?
We're not even a hiker, and he
No.
did it with no problem. The next day, he couldn't even make it up the hill. The next day, so he said that during that, they were telling him to grab rocks and grab energy from the rocks, and that's what was giving him energy, was these rocks that he would hold on to and give him energy.
Yep. And I was feeling very much like I was feeling so energized. It was like I could have run up. Like it was just amazing with the energy. And we would never have made it up there. No way in hell. Right. And I wasn't even drinking a lot of water, which I normally do.
Yeah. Like I said, the next day he couldn't even make it, like 100 feet or whatever.
No, and then Barry, right, he had that instance where he split off from me.
Right. So
and
Barry,
he
split
had
off from
bee on him too, which I wanted to bring up because that's really significant.
Oh, okay.
He had this bee. Yeah. And I think I sent a photo of that, but this bee that was really attached to him, and it was really bizarre. Right before he went down, whatever happened to him, before we split off, he had this, and I took a photo of it. It was just, I said, Barry, you've got this. And the bee just literally landed and just sat there for a while.
Wow.
It was weird.
So then I am sitting there, and here comes this one of the women that was on our with us, hiking with us, and she has Barry in the car with her. And I'm like, wait, what happened? Well, Barry had decided to break off from Tracy and Sal and go back to meet us. Well, he ends up 5 miles down the road. Impossible to do in the amount of time that we did it. Impossible. Because he would have had to hike miles and miles and miles to make it down there. He went through another portal, because it's the only way that we can attest that he could have made it all the way down to the bunny trail, which is at the beginning of the mountain. So that was really weird.
And I sent you I just realized this tonight. It's the first time I saw this. I had in Google Earth, I have a list of all of these portals all over the world. And there's a portal called Enki Portal. It's in Mount Shasta. I haven't gotten a chance to dig into that, but anyway, it's around that area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I sent you a pic of it, a snapshot, but it's called Enki Portal. And because I was looking at some other grid stuff a while ago, and it has to do with Thoth. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Thoth.
Yeah, so you might want to read about that. That might be a whole nother session. Seriously, because it's a crazy. Maybe Marie can look into that too. But it has to do with the New Earth hologram.
Oh.
Yeah. I just grabbed that like right before our session, so I didn't get to dig into it. But it's there, and it's directly above. It kind of looks like where we ended up, actually, near that Red Banks area. I'm looking at it right now.
Wow.
Yeah, Ankii portal. So it's something I definitely think would be worth a reading on at some point.
Yeah, send me the questions you think I should ask Marie, and I can definitely ask her during one of our shows.
Sure. And Lowell might be aware of that, but yeah.
Okay, so then Shanna finds a cave on top of the place that Lowell sent us. So the next day, I told Lowell about it, and he's like, "Come with me tomorrow. I want you to show me the cave." So I did that. I showed Lowell the cave. He loved it. People saw, went in it. It was great. Mm-hmm. So the next day, I show it to Tracy and to Sal, and we start taking pictures. Let me see if I can find
That one of you is incredible. That is
it.
not sun glare.
This one? Well, first we went here. In the creek down below before we went up to the cave in Shasta.
Oh yes. Yes, the people that we met. Yes.
Yeah. And so here's this picture. And according to Marie, I asked her, because I was like, is this a lens flare or what is this? Right. And it's like a straight line down. And she said, no, it was angelic in nature. It was some type of angelic.
And I bet those beautiful women that we met too, right?
Yeah.
Total Lemurian. Oh my gosh. Like if that's not Lemurian.
Wait, and then, okay, so these are the pictures in this area that Lowell had taken us. It's kind of like a little cove, kind of. And I swear to God, you can tell this is a freaking, oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. I am so sorry. I thought I was sharing. Oops, no, wrong thing. I'm sharing the wrong thing. Okay, hold on, you guys. I'm being special here.
Okay, there was a lot on this trip.
Okay, so
yes, that's amazing.
Okay, so this was the picture that I was showing you before that I was saying it was angelic. According to Marie, this was some type of angelic light that was coming in. Sell to that picture of me on the creek where we met those beautiful ladies. Let me see.
I think I have
right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Oops.
I mean, that was amazing. Those, and they were doing healing, right? They had some kind of oils, right? Essential, and they were helping us clear our. So this, for me, it was my throat. Yeah.
So this girl shows up with her little suitcase full of oils and tinctures and all kinds of stuff, and she's like, "Oh, we gotta cure we gotta heal the feminine something." And then she starts doing like muscle testing on us, and then she's rubbing, oils on our chakras, and so that's her. And she was really young, just a really amazing, sweet soul.
And
then,
she was, there was a tie-in too, because where she's living right now, I used to be, when in my Army days, that was very close to the base where I used to work at. So it's just another synchronicity. And it's a town, Bisbee, I think, where you'd never even hear of. Wow. Nobody's hardly ever heard of that. So it was, anyway, it's incredible.
Wow. So this is the cove I was describing that you guys couldn't see when this picture was taken. Some people think it's a lens flare, but if it's a lens flare, why does it stop right here? Like, I don't know. But either way, it's a cool picture. So this is where Lowell took us. And if you look in here, there's these cracks where you can almost see that this is like a door that opens up. Like you could just tell. And the energy in there was crazy. So here is a picture, another picture, which of course people say lens flare. Okay, that's fine. But explain this ET figure here. I don't know if you see it right here where I'm showing it. But it's right here. And then here's another one here. And this one, I'm not sure. This one I was thinking could be one of the lenses, because you know how there's 3 lenses, that could be one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But this one for sure cannot be explained.
And again, there were many photos, right, that were taken. I think I took a few too. And that did not show up. Right. So, yeah.
And you know what? And then, and then Sal goes, "Oh, they say they have a gift for you." And he gives me this rock. And when I look at this rock, I wonder if I can flip it, rotate left. Here we go.
Yeah.
Can you see the ET in there? Can you see the 2 eyes? Here's one eye. Here's the other eye. Here's the nose and the mouth.
Yeah.
Here's the head.
Wow.
Right here. So he gives me this rock, and I'm like, oh my God, there's an ET on here. So that was super special. And then, oh, I thought I had a picture of the cave, picture of the cave, but I'd have to go through.
I don't think
all of
I've
this
got that. Yeah,
find it,
I've
but
got.
yeah,
Yeah.
so never mind. But so
That was
anyway,
incredible.
we had the cave that we saw, and sorry.
Oh, we got time. We're okay. We're fine with time.
So what else? What am I missing?
There were just so many things. I think our host, one thing I brought up, Michelle, that was meant to be at the Airbnb. She was absolutely, and again,
my
it's
God.
dimensional. She was incredible. If you're anybody's, I don't know if we want to put a link up, but and we literally stayed at the place. I moved places, right? So we could have a bigger place. And it was literally next to where the conference was at. So that's the other thing, right? Like we didn't even have to drive.
It was right there. And and the water, because the city park was right in front of us, and it had a spring right there. And the water was so delicious. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I brought this big filtration thing, and I didn't even need it there. Lisa was like, we don't need that. We've got the water. It was
bathing in spring water, showering in spring water. Like
incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible. So she was amazing. There's so many things. Do you want to bring up, is that a Blue Star Child Gallery? Haruka?
Oh yeah, Haruko. So Haruko was mentioned in the interview with Ruben Langdon and Lowell, explaining that they had I don't know what to call it. So the Talosians had somehow copied what she had done and did it in these big, huge panels somewhere. Somewhere. And the artist was in Shasta, so we went to see her, and we got she does readings. She does like
it's beautiful.
Let's see. Ooh, okay, here we go. I don't know how to make it so
they're multidimensional, and they're meant to activate, right, certain aspects of your DNA.
So she, for $99, she'll create your aspect, your divine aspect, and drawing. Let's see. No.
Yeah.
To come through. But anyway, your dimensional drawing, there it is, of you. And then in the back, she'll write what she received, what she channeled. So that was incredible, going in there and feeling the energies of all those drawings she had done. Blue Star
Child galleries. Yeah. And what came to me too, this was just something I picked up, but the Atlantis and Lemurian energies, I feel like right now at this time, those are being merged. And she had that beautiful drawing. And I said, of course, that makes sense right now, right? Because we're healing all of that, right? With, all of this new earth that we're bringing in.
Yeah.
So that resonated with me. And then I think, well, Alex Collier, spending time with him was awesome, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that was great.
We got to have dinner with him, and you got to take care of his dog while he
Merlin,
was talking, and just a really sweet soul.
I think there were a few other people too that we met, right? Just that had I don't remember all the vendors, but Vivian Chauvet, she's a beautiful soul. I had mentioned her before, but she had some great stuff. And then you had interviewed Arcturus Ra, right?
Yep. And then one of my clients, Jan, I came to me, she's like, introduced herself, and I'm like, I was one of your clients. So that was amazing to to be able to meet people in person that I've done sessions for. And and then I don't know if you have yours, but I got my baby, my Lemurian.
Oh, the Andaran.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, the Andaran
Yeah.
crystal. And Lowell had shown me pictures of all these ones that he had seen, and Mickey Magic is his website. And I had seen the one that he had shown me that was two-tone, and I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want. And I manifested it. They had it when I went this place, Crystal Matrix.
Yeah.
So that's my baby right there, and it's half blue, half green, and it was amazing.
Yeah. There was another crystal shop, I think, that had the Nellie's Ranch one.
Yes, that I don't remember the name of it.
I'm trying to remember too, because there's maybe 3 or 4 crystal shops. But what struck me was the guy there was a gentleman in there, a young guy, and his energy just stood out. And I don't remember his name, but he had the eyes again, just something off planet, right? Like off world being, or Telos related, but just
no, it was amazing. And one of the big things for me is I ended up really connecting with Lowell and Zan.
Yes.
And now, and Zan and I, are texting every day and everything. So, I made a really beautiful friendship, and just really, truly amazing people. I met Aaron from Journey to Truth.
Journey to Truth. Yes. I forgot about him. Yeah.
Yep. So, and he's such a sweetheart, such a good soul. He drove us to the airport, even though it was an hour backwards for him. So he drove an hour to Reading to then drive back. Yeah.
Oh, that was sweet.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah. So he's just so nice, so sweet. Just nothing but goodness there.
Barry and Johnny, just everybody, right?
And then and that's what came to mind is that we met Johnny, and Johnny has some type of connection to ETs, because when we went to see Kraft with him at night, oh my God, the sky was lighting up with Kraft constantly, and every time, and it was because of him. It was Johnny that had that connection. It was incredible.
He definitely does. He's the one too that he doesn't remember this, but that got me thinking about Pagosa Springs in the first place. Because he had picked up when I went to ECETI, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago?
Wow.
And that's where I met Johnny and Barry. And so there's just a connection, I think, with all of us. I think we've all had,
for sure.
And Sal kept us laughing. So,
Yeah. And I the Lemurian energy is coming in so strong. It's coming in on my cards. It's coming in on my friends. Now, like, there was a really good friend I met when I did the Sedona retreat. Now I'm like, oh my God, because she's bringing stuff through, and I'm like, that's where we connect. It's from Telos. It's from this Lemurian energy. So now it's like, we have to go back to Shasta, because I have to show her, this place and the cave and all this stuff, so it's just really turning out to be really magical in every way.
And it's just starting, right? All of this stuff. And then, that's a whole nother.
One more thing that came too, in that store, the Nellie's
Ranch,
where they sell the Lemurian crystals, the Andaras. This girl, Nicole, she was in the thing with Lowell, the tour, but we kind of like looked at each other, nothing. When we're in that shop, I say hi to her and we hug, and I hug her, and then I turn around to look at this Andara crystal, was gigantic, and she grabs me from the back like this and starts sobbing out loud. And I'm like,
oh, I remember that.
and I'm like, okay, what did I miss? And I go, so what? And once she let me go, I was like, what happened? What? And she goes, you're home. You're home. You're home to me. And it was like, and so I hugged her again, and she's bawling.
Yeah.
Then every time we were at the store and she would see me, she'd start bawling again.
Yeah.
So like all these
So
connections,
much.
like we all needed to touch base. Like the people that were in the tour were meant to know each other. Like it was all connected, and it was magical.
And there was a lady that came up afterwards, and I've got her name written somewhere. I've already forgotten it, but she was a healer, and she came up to me also afterwards, and we get hugged after, I had gotten back and cleaned up and everything right at the conference. But she comes up to me and was talking to me. So it's just, all of it was meant to be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We need to go back for sure.
Yeah. So it was pretty amazing. If you can send me the link of Michelle's condo or where we stayed, the house, so I can put it down there, because I definitely want to send her people. She even brought like brownies to us made of like, what was it? Zucchini?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's just incredible. And she has 2 Airbnbs now. So she has a house and an apartment that's right next to the house.
Built, that's right. Yeah. And it's in a perfect location too.
Perfect location in front of that park where you can go get that water that's like magic. And that park is magical. There were so many people there that were like gypsies and just people that are like loving tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, I wanted more, it's like, hey brother, hey sister, like,
everybody the energy was off the charts.
Yeah. So that park is I'm definitely going to go back to that park. There's no question about it. It was incredible.
It was amazing.
So, but that's
it for today,
awesome. Right?
Yes, this is awesome. So I'll send you those links, and let's see, I probably need to get going.
Yeah. So everybody,
thank you
so much for watching, and please comment below if you've had any magical times that you've had in Shasta or any other place. Just, I would love to hear about it. And Tracy, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, thank you. This was fun. My first YouTube, I think. Yeah, I think it might be my first live one. So thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.